Are you a human being? Are you humanity? You may be wondering, why did I phrase it like that? I phrased it like that on purpose to get you to think, to separate yourself from humanity and a human being. Just because you're being a human being doesn't mean that you're displaying humanity. I really want everyone present here today to really get into your feelings so that you can get into your head with your feelings, but get into your head where your logic and your emotions connect, where you take fiction and separate it from reality, where you begin to look at things as they are and not as you want things to be. Because people are hurting all over the world in various ways. Now, many of you here today are here for your involvement with Watchtower Bible and Tract Society or Mormons or 2x2s or other religious groups. Some positive experiences and some negative. But it's time that we center our mind on this. Don't quit people, but quit the system. A lot of you here today, your families have quit you. A lot of you here today, the belief system has quit you. The belief system of anything that has been destructive. But don't quit people. Quit the belief that's corrupting them. And with that said, I want to encourage people here today that might be on the verge of quitting or running back to something out of fear. People do this in relationships. They do it with religion. They do it with politics. They do it with jobs because they're scared to fully get to know themselves and to be alone. If you pay attention carefully, when God sets you apart in the Bible, a lot of times people were in the wilderness. Abraham was told to go be by himself because God wants you to hear his voice. He wants to get out all the clutter. He wants you to turn down the volume of other people's voices, which is often just noise. And when we're able to do that, no matter who you are, you're able to tap into your strongest authenticity. This way, you can walk worthily along this path of greatness. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Bravery is the ability to be bold when you're right, but true courage is the ability to be bold when you're wrong. So we all should look forward to times where we're wrong so that we can learn and grow, where we don't take arguments that have nothing to do with a present situation, but it's something in the past, we're making it present. Everybody here today is one day older. If you're still here, you're 1 second older. We have to start displaying humanity so that we can get back to the Christ-like love and those qualities. May we acknowledge truth when we hear it. May we separate the truth of truth regarding objectivity and the truth of subjectivity, the truth of lies. May you never promote the truth of lies. What do I mean by that? Well, if, as an example, you have thousands of pages of Old Light or any other group has something similar, that's the truth of those lies. And it happened. Don't erase history. In order for one to erase their history, they have to know it. And this is why the governing body is not genuine, the current ones. In order for them to lie on people and say that they're telling all lies about something that they know is true, that's not genuine. In order to erase your history, you must know it. So I'm encouraging you today to look at your attributes as a luxury. When you think about having the finest things in life, and I'm not promoting materialism, I'm just using an illustration. when you think about having the best of the best or presenting yourself as the best of the best, what good is it to be in a $200,000 car, but the person behind it is not good? Your attributes of love, justice, mercy, peace, integrity. And none of us are always doing a good job at that. Just like our cars get dirty, our personalities can get a little dirty at times where we have to clean them up. So just like we have luxuries in life, may we luxuriously have attributes that are shiny. And these are the fruits of the Spirit. Galatians 5:22 and 23. And with that said, I'm encouraging people here today to really be motivated and inspired not to quit. And I'm going to tell you something, and I want you to really get this like you never got it before. This is not some theory. This is something that's factual, and I've been writing a book on it that I haven't published yet. I started like 5 years ago. There's a difference between inspiration and motivation. Inspiration always comes first. Motivation is second. If you confuse inspiration and motivation, you by default could potentially be guided in the wrong way or not motivated because you have the wrong inspiration. Inspiration just means to form the mind, the information that forms the mind. Then it connects to one of your senses. And then you're going to be motivated to move forward with that information. As a good example would be, if you're inspired by I like you, then you're motivated to find time to spend with that person. If you're inspired by the information of I do not like you, then you're motivated not to find time. And that it works with everything in life. So if you're having an issue with motivation, it's your inspiration. And it's just the information that you feed in your mind. So, for example, if a man thinks that a woman is just supposed to cook and clean, that's the inspiration that he has to get married or have a relationship. When that doesn't happen the way that he has it in his mind, that's the information he's used to form his mind as though he can't deprogram that or vice versa. Then when things don't go that way, he's not motivated to do other things because that's the information he's used to form his mind. Now, we all can form our mind with innocent information. Sometimes it's destructive, but we have to take a step back. And whenever we're not motivated, it's connected to our inspiration, whether right or wrong. The whole point is we want to be conditioned properly. Just like when people fail to stay motivated working out, they don't think about it long term. They don't understand it. If you work out for 40 years and you stop, the 40 years was for nothing. They never had longevity in mind. So today, moving forward, we all invest in commitment, everlasting commitment to greatness, everlasting commitment to standing up for truth, everlasting commitment to understanding that once you take a stand for truth, you have to be willing to die for it. If you're not willing to die for it, you're not tapping into your full power. You have to understand that you have to release that fear. You have to understand that you have to conquer and overcome. People are wanting you to fail. I remember just reflecting on things I've conquered in life. I've conquered not having a father. I've conquered having a mom with difficulties. I've conquered starting a business when people told me when I was 17 that it wasn't going to work. Or some people were saying after 2 to 5 years of it, what do you have to show for it? That same business has allowed me to purchase 2 homes, cars, and to help people and put me in a position where I work for myself and I have freedom to take off when I want to turn down clients that I want to work with, and to expand into other avenues that has given me time to write, that has given me time to do so many things. But if I had listened to those people, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I say the same thing with religion and finding out that I was a part of a destructive group. I will conquer. I have conquered. I operate from victory, not to attain it. I'm already victorious. You see, when you're on the side of real truth and you have the facts to prove it and you're not hiding, You don't run away from it. You can fix it then. You have the ammunition you need to stand up to people. As Winston Churchill once did when he recognized that you can't negotiate with Hitler at that time, and other people, Chamberlain and all these other prime ministers at that time, when the people weren't in favor of him, but they needed his personality to get the job done. When he gave that fiery speech, when he talked about the finest hour, there comes a point where life taps you on your shoulder. And that will be your finest hour, what you do with it. So every day, every moment, we are living our finest hour, are we not? We have the opportunity to show our relatives and family members, not just with religion, but who we are as people. To show them that we can take adversities, that we can take traumatic experiences and overcome and conquer. And when people are rooting for you to fail, sometimes they just want you to fail because it makes them feel better. So try not to take that too personally. But you have to invest in yourself. You should not know the same amount of information that you knew yesterday. You need to expand the mind. You need to learn about various things. You need to invest in your gifts. You need to understand that you're special. There'll never be another you. Don't be so enthralled by someone else that you're not enthralled by yourself. And of course, within reason, as Proverbs 27:2 says, let the fruit of praise come from someone else's lips. But do brag on yourself sometimes. You're made in God's image, or you're not. You're a daughter of God. You're a son of God. Boast about God sometimes, but boast about your uniqueness. Proverbs 18:16, Proverbs 22:29. 1 Corinthians 2:9-11. You are special. You have the ability to overcome this, and you will. This is a miracle that you've woken up. Because the most difficult thing to do is to walk away from what's familiar whilst being afraid. But when you do that, you realize you were born in the dark. You came in this thing alone. You're going to leave alone. You're going to stand before the judgment throne alone. So unleash your power and be a champion and a warrior. I'm reminded of a scene from Man of Steel in 2013 where Superman, toward the end, he had this epic battle with Zod. And you remember when Zod was coming into his own, where he was still getting adjusted to the human planet. And he had these abilities, but he couldn't release them just yet. But once he did, he gave Superman a run for his money. And that's kind of how you are. You have all these abilities, but you're getting adjusted to this environment because you never made your abilities capable, but you always had the ability. So know that. Just like Zod, he was in unfamiliar territory. He had some training he had to do. That's how you are right now. But over time, once you start releasing your abilities, look out, world. And that's who you are. But I'm also reminded of another scene where Superman adjusted to this new challenge. You are super. You're Superman, you're Superwoman. But remember that scene at the end where you had this hero, Superman, and he always wanted to do good, but he was put in a position where Zod was releasing his laser beam and he was getting ready to kill someone. And Superman, he had to let this person die or he had to stop Zod. And he said, "Don't make me do this." He said, "No." And then he broke Zod's neck and took him out. Not because he wanted to, he had no choice. And you released this scream that I'll never forget. Like, ah, and that said so much. And that's how you are when you're faced between your family, friends, and personal freedom and living authentically. And you're like, we don't have to talk about religion. We don't have to talk about anything. If you want to stay in a destructive group the rest of your life and not know the real truth, that's fine. But I will always speak the truth, but we still can love each other and be cordial and have other things to talk about as you live your best life in fantasy. And then as I live my best life in reality and still receive the rewards that came or that Christ has promised. But you're saying, don't make me do this. And they're kind of saying the same thing. But the issue is they don't realize that they're Zod and that you're the one that's Superman. So you've been forced where you have to snap that cord in half and choose yourself and choose the people that are being harmed by a bad belief system, but they don't know it. Every time you attend and being present, over time, you're still being complicit, even as you're fading. So circumstances are different, but you still have to recognize that either you're on the side of good or you're on the side of evil. There's no in between. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, you cannot drink of the cup of God and the cup of demons. So with that being said, there reaches a point where you have to adjust and then release your superpower, because you are a hero and you're the hero of your own story. And I tell this to you as I see myself growing in several ways. I'm proud of myself. I really am. I'm the one that stood alone in this for my inner circle. I'm the one that faced these challenges. I'm the one that conquered my fears. As Jesus said, you've conquered the world. And because of that, I can stand as a living testament and a testimony and a testimonial to know that I've walked that path. And I know that you can too. And others, thousands, have already done it. So with that being said, know this. You are powerful. You stand up with your heart and you wear it on your sleeves. Don't hide your feelings, but you let people understand something. You've chosen the wrong person to put down. That's what you tell them. That's what you tell yourself. Because see, a lot of times you have this destructive personality that was given to you where you're fighting against your authentic self, and you have to face him or her head on and say, no, you're not doing this. You're not going to help me stay in delusion. I'm going to fight you through information. I'm going to fight you through applied experiences. I'm going to go out there and rebuild my life. I'm going to go out there and rebuild friendships, meaningful ones. I'm going to go out there and find out things that I never did. And then I'm going to come back strong and better. And then I'm going to snatch other people out of the fire. And some people will come out of that fire. And with that said, I've noticed that there's been an increase in viewership from people that are between 18 and 24 on my channel. At first it was much older, but now it's like 18 to 24 and 25 through 35. So some younger people are really watching my channel more so than ever before, and which is a great thing. Now, with that being said, keep spreading the message. So like and subscribe and comment to help me get positive messages out there to people. And I have two announcements. So this is my cousin, and she wrote a book, and I assisted her with this a little bit some years ago, but it's a great book. So get you a copy. It's still on Amazon, and it's an inspirational book, and it's really good for women. So also another announcement would be I have someone whom has a very well-rounded Watchtower library regarding books. And this individual is going to sell their home, and they're looking to get rid of the books. They don't want you to pay them for it. They even are willing to add $100 to the shipping costs. So if you're interested in collecting like some very old books from Watchtower, then let me know, and I will vet you, because I know there may be operatives trying to get these books to just destroy them. But you won't be able to pull the wool over me and pull a fast one. So, but she is interested in giving these books away. She offered to give them to me. I don't have any use for them. I do not want all those books, because I just stick with the Bible and other things that people can find on their own. So I don't need all those books. You know, I've done enough research. So if you are interested, email me, let me know, and then I can arrange to see. And I have also offered to put some money towards shipping it for people that are interested. So she has $100, and I'll put some money toward it, because she just wants to get the books out, and I want to help her. Have a good day. Thank you.